Okay, we are streaming now on YouTube. Please sit tight. We're going to be starting shortly. Good morning, good evening, good day. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And for those of us who joined us last week or last 2 weeks that we couldn't broadcast, I apologize. It was a technical error, and we are back to make it up for everyone. So I will do my presentation and then I'll take questions. Today we are talking about our certified mental health and addiction counseling course. What's about? Open house info session. We're going to be talking about how the need for mental health here is very high now, why you must think about it, and why it's the best thing for retirees, it's the best thing for pastors or parishioners, it's the best thing for coaches, for counselors. It is a good thing to add because you're going to be confronting those who are either suffering from addiction, depression, or anxiety. So those are the major things that this course covers. So be ready. If you have questions, I will take your questions at the end of the presentation. And if you're here, please share the screen, share our broadcast, share as much to your friends. Let's spread the word as much as we can. Okay, we are going to be starting. For those who are watching on YouTube now or later, please post your questions. We will be more than happy to follow up on them. So today, as I said, we are going to be providing information on how to become a certified mental health and addiction counselor. Those are those who take care of mental health, those who are dealing with mental health and addiction. Let me bring up my slide, and then at the end, I will take questions. Be more than happy to answer your questions. And while we are here, this course is good for everyone. Let's start from there, but particularly for coaches and counselors, those who are in counseling, those who are mentoring. If you are a helping hand, in other words, you have people who look up to you as a pastor, as a leader, community leader, religious leader. If you're a nonprofit organization leader, if you are a healthcare practitioner, in other words, you are either a nurse, you are a pharmacist, you're a doctor. We've had a few doctors who have taken this course, or you just work in administration. If you run a clinic, or you're thinking about running a clinic sometime in the future or now, If you are a counselor and you need to supplement or add to your repertoire, this course is designed for all those people, especially nurses, coaches, and therapists. It comes in handy for you. This is offered by the Institute for Marriage and Family Affairs, INFA for sure. Our main focus is on marriage and family, but we do know that mental health and addiction affects those who are married and family. So that's how we got here, because this is part of what we do as helpers. That's why we are offering the skills to those of us who can take it. Let's keep going. As I say, this is certified mental health and addiction counseling. It's part of our School of Addiction and Mental Health here. What is the goal? The goal is to train and equip mental health care professionals and supplement global demand for mental health care. So we are part of the vanguard of covering the need or the shortage, if you will, of mental health globally. In the US where we live, there are great shortage of those who are helping in the mental health industry, especially psychiatry. There is need for that. So if you're here, that's what we do. We provide not just training, we provide equipment. We point you to how to equip yourself to run it. So why are we here? Let's talk about mental health, addiction, and post-pandemic living. There were already shortages of mental health care practitioners before the pandemic. But following the pandemic, the need got extreme. That is a lot of need because many people are suffering from one mental health or the other. Many are using unhealthy coping skills to deal with it, which means a lot of people are drinking more, a lot of people are using drugs more, and that's in turn leading to addiction. So the global health crisis has made this course essential, has made it one that all of us need to have. Of course, the war and economic challenges that come from the global health crisis has added to it. The war in Ukraine, the war in various areas has added to it. Economic downturn means a lot of people are struggling. That has trickled down to families. Families are also affected by COVID, post-COVID stuff in the economic downturn. And that has led to broken family units. Of course, we have increase in domestic violence. The week of I think it was March, last week of March 2020, the rate of domestic violence went up globally. I can give you statistics for each region, but let's just say that everywhere we turn, domestic violence was on the increase because people were reading, people were uncomfortable, people were dealing with stress, and the stress was taken out on the way. So we have that. Obviously, we have a lot of business failures. Things have changed for a lot of people economically. And then there is fear and uncertainty. COVID has whittled down a little bit in that we have pretty much, we have a hand on how to deal with COVID now. It's not, the disease itself is not the challenge anymore. But the effect of the disease is still there. It has shaken the foundation of our unity, of our bonding in families. A lot of us lost loved ones, meaning we have to recalibrate the family unit. The functions of those who are dead were struggling to reassess, to realign ourselves and our families because a lot died. Obviously, I don't know where you are, but globally, inflation is on the rise. In the US, it's shaking the government. But if it's happening here, it's happening everywhere. The monetary exchange is going up and up. So all these things are leading to people dealing with stress, unable to handle stress. And when we have that and add that to crime and insecurity, then you really, really have problem in our hands. And that's what we're dealing with. That's why we are here. And that's why this course has become essential and is going to continue to be needed in the long future moving from now, because the demand is there and it's not going away soon. Look at that. An estimated 350 million people worldwide suffer from depression. So that gives us a clue to what's going on. 350 million. And this is before pandemic. So if we get the stats now, it's going to be a lot more than that. Depression is now the second leading cause of disease burden globally. Depression and slash anxiety. You can add anxiety to that. Currently, an estimated 60 million people globally suffer from bipolar, which is a combination of depression and anxiety. An estimated 21 million people suffer from schizophrenia. So all these are very stretching the need for those who can help. So where has that led us to? Let's go to the next slide. So it has led for the need for more hands. If you remember what happened during the lockdown and COVID, everybody went home. And suddenly, the government could not provide help for everyone. So they only could provide help for those who are extreme, who are in difficult situation or who are in crisis. What that means is for a lot of us, we relied on family members to take care of us. So that's also leading us to say, you need the skills. Who knows tomorrow? You need the skills for your family. You need the skills for yourself. You need the skills for your congregation, for your community, for your nation. These are needed skills. Just the information, being able to know what's going on with someone is half the problem. 50% or 1 in every 2 of all adults will develop at least one mental illness during their lifetime. In a lot of developed world, these things are not diagnosed. We just struggle with it, just deal with it. But in America, we have 1 in every 4 suffer from mental illness. Why is that? Because here it's diagnosed. Here it's diagnosed. People have forgetfulness, they go to see a doctor, there's diagnosis for it. But if you have that in developing countries, you just deal with it. People have depression, you are asked to get over it in the developing countries. But here, you seek help, you're diagnosed, and you're provided with care. So all these are pointing to us needing to get these skills so that we can help ourselves and be able to help others. That's not just helping others, but starting from you, just being aware of mental illness, how it works, helps you. Look, when I got into this, I'm originally a lawyer, so this is a second career for my wife and I. So when we got into this, I realized that how much just being able to sleep means in your mental well-being. Being able to sleep for 7-8 hours a night, get quality sleep. A lot of us are not getting that. But this is something that can enhance your mental well-being. Being able to exercise, knowing how to decompress, knowing how to manage stress. These are very simple skills that you don't need a psychiatrist to do. You don't need a therapist to do. You just need to know the mechanism for inducing relaxation. So those we will teach, and that makes this course very essential for those who are using it for others. Obviously, I've talked about this global shortage of mental health care workers, because even before now, think about it. I don't know where you are, but do a research on the amount of your national budget that is assigned to mental health. You'll find out that for most countries, it's not more than 2%. But for even healthcare, it's not more than 2% for most countries. And then you break it down, you'll find that a minute, very small percentage of the healthcare budget goes to mental illness, especially in developing countries. The reason is because we care for those who are healthy. We really don't care a lot about those who are crazy. We file them out and forget them. So there's that need. Workers are not enough. Then they are not enough now. Not many schools train mental health workers. Not many schools do that. There are many schools that deal with arts, many schools that train English students, many schools do all that, but not many schools train many mental health workers. And the other thing is that this course is a rich choice. I am technically nearing retirement. Let me mute this person so that we can keep going. I am technically on the verge of retirement, and that's why I got into it. So I figured I can do counseling till I'm 80, or until whenever I don't want to. As long as I can think and sit and listen, I can do counseling. I can help people talk. The more gray hair you have, the more people are likely to listen to you. So this is a retiree's choice, first choice. It's something you can do. The older you get, the more wise you are, the more you combine it with skills, you make sense to a lot of people. Secondly, it's a second career. Like for me, this is my second career. So if you've gone through one phase of career, there's a saying that these days, before we finally hang the boat, meaning retire, we go through about 3 different kinds of careers. We try this, we try this, we try that, and eventually we settle down. So this is one second thought career to have. It doesn't involve a lot of energy. It really involves a lot of wisdom. So that helps. So you can be drafted into the mental health professional need. You can help to feel that in your community, in your church, in your nation. You can help to do that. Now, this is not new. Years ago, there was drastic need for nurses. And what did World Health Organization recommend? They recommended training lay people to become nurses. That's how you have the para nursing people who are filling it. There are things they can do, not everything that the licensed nurses can do. That's the same thing. Same thing with doctors. So same thing with teachers. We have auxiliary teachers because of the need for teachers. Same thing that is happening with this course. A certification doesn't make you a psychiatrist. That's not what you're saying. It doesn't make you a professional therapist. It makes you a certified mental health counselor. You have basic and advanced knowledge. You know what to do. You know who to refer to. And you definitely can handle addiction, drug and alcohol addiction cases. That's what we do here. The demand is high. According to the 2016 World Drug Report, it is estimated that 1 in 20 adults, or a quarter of a billion worldwide, aged 15 to 64, used illicit drugs in 2014. This was 2014 stats. That's the one I have. So if you move forward or fast forward to 2022 from 2014, you know that that number has gone up high. At the moment, before COVID, we were having an epidemic of opioid usage, overdose, and all that. It's still going on in the US and advanced countries. Fentanyl is the big thing now. So all those people need help. Again, according to WHO, there were approximately 124 million people dependent on alcohol. A lot of folks don't know it, but among the drugs, alcohol is one of the most difficult to stop. To stop drinking. It's hard. You can stop cocaine, you can stop the other one. It's also hard, but alcohol is the one that hangs on. It's really difficult to stop. And yet it causes more damage than cocaine and others. So we may not know all of it. So there's need for us. And thirdly, why we are really here, there's an epidemic of crisis. Addiction affects families. I am here as a marriage and family counselor because addiction affects husband and wife, affects children, and ultimately destroys family. So that's why I'm here. I'm here because if I don't have the skills to help my patients, to help my clients to deal with addiction, there wouldn't be any marriage. If you have case of marriage crisis and addiction crisis in a family or in a marriage, you gotta deal with the addiction part, because until you deal with that, there's no marriage. You can't move forward. So this skill is essential, and that's why it comes into pastors. If you're a pastor and you have a lot of couples that you're counseling that are dealing with things, husband can't keep a job or wife can't do, and you trace it down to somebody is drinking. You can't just say stop drinking. I know a lot of us try it. I don't know how much you succeed by just saying stop drinking, just stop drinking. How many people stop drinking because you tell them to stop drinking? You know what? Because it's not their choice. They can't stop on their own. They need help. It's a disease. The only choice they had was perhaps the early stage of the consumption of alcohol or drugs. But after a while, it becomes a disease. It becomes a disease that needs method and treatment to get over. And this is something that we are going to spend the first month talking about. Why drinking, why addiction, alcohol and drug consumption goes from dependence to addiction. Things we can do with this course, it can be an investment. You can say, I don't have time to be a counselor, or I don't have time to provide help. I'm too busy. You may have time to open up a clinic, a rehab, and then hire people who can do it. So it's an investment opportunity. And if you already have a clinic, or you have a hospital, or you have a church, or you have a place where you interact with people, all you're doing is adding the services to the services that you already have. You have a school proprietor or proprietress. This is an area that you can invest in to enhance your profile and services. It's a ministry opportunity. A lot of people need this. It's a minute. I can't tell you how many people are in prison because of addiction. So if we're going to get them out of prison and away from prison, we're going to deal with their addiction. If we can't deal with it, guess what? They're going back to prison. Because when they come out, they're going to go back to drug and from drug to crime, back to prison. So it's a ministry opportunity. Obviously, if you deal with youth and young ones, this is the big one. This is one that is ravaging our youth. It's a professional development opportunity. Again, I've talked about doctors, I've talked about nurses, I've talked about pharmacists, I've talked about those who are in healthcare. So this would be a specialized skill that you can add to your nursing skill, to your medical skill, to your pharmaceutical skill. Knowing this helps you to be able to know how to deal with people. Obviously, if you're any of those things, you're a medical doctor, you have to incorporate counseling in part of what you do. That's just part of it. So this course helps you. And then personal development. There are people who have depression or anxiety or who are struggling with addiction themselves and who perhaps for shame, stigma, or whatever reason, You're not willing to go to rehab. This may be your rehab. Just knowledge is power. Knowing how addiction works, how drugs work in us, work in the brain, just that helps you. Learning relapse prevention skills. How many times have you said, I'll quit? If you know anyone who is struggling with addiction or alcoholism, you know many, many times they've said, this is my last, I'm never going to drink again. And many times they've broken that promise. Not that they promise meaning to break it. It's just that they can't keep it. It's not a promise you can just keep by saying it. Now, a minute few have said, I'm never going to drink again, and they've quit cold turkey. But that's just a very insignificant number. The large majority of the people cannot stop without help. And that's where we come in. So if you, your child, or a family member is struggling with addiction, is struggling with mental illness, depression, and anxiety, this is a skill worth having. You know why? There is no cure for addiction. No cure. We never say this person is cured. There is recovery. They go to treatment, they stay in recovery, meaning as long as they do what they need to do, they're not going to be suffering from addiction. But any moment they start drinking again, they go back to where they were when they stopped. I've had patients and clients who have quit for 16 years, 20 years, and over the weekend, they go from not drinking for 20 years to drinking as much as they were drinking at their peak of addiction. What does that tell you? It wasn't cured. They were in recovery. They were managing it. So what this means is going to be part of your life going on. Same thing with depression. So far, there is management of it. Those who suffer from depression, every year, every other year, you have bouts of episodes of it. So it's not that you say, I'm going to hospital, I'm taking this drug now, I'm okay, I'm cured from depression, I will never have anxiety. No, you come to therapy, perhaps for a long part of your life, if not for the rest of your life. You learn skills. The skills that work now may not work tomorrow. The skills that are working for you now may work for 6 months or 1 year, and they're ineffective. So it's something you deal with for the rest of your life. But it's not a life sentence. It's just an adjustment of lifestyle. And that's what this course will teach you. Give you the confidence. Those who are suffering from AIDS will say living with HIV, meaning it's not a death sentence anymore. It's just that you live it. You make adjustments to how you live. Same thing with some of this is we're talking about. If you have it in the family or you're suffering from it, you just need to know how to deal with it. You learn how to deal with it. Acquire the skill. If you can do that, there's life. It's not a life sentence. If you can't do that, then we start struggling with bouts of and episodes of crisis, going back and forth to hospital, having seasons of depression where we are not really functional, we are isolating and doing all those things. But this course teaches you to identify the warning signs, identify the risk factors, identify the strength factor things you can do to manage any of those things. So what does this course offer? We will understand addiction. Now, we're not talking about other kinds of addiction. We're not talking about gambling. We're not talking about sex addiction. We're not talking about different kinds of addiction, but we're focused on drug and alcohol addiction. You will learn skills for counseling addicts. Perhaps as a counselor, I've learned and I've seen, I've practiced that the hardest part of patients to deal with are those who are addicts. Because part of addiction, the disease itself is deception, lying, cheating. That's part of it. They have to do that to get the drug, to use the drug, to hide the drug. They have to lie. That's part of it. So for you as a counselor, you have to be able to read between the lines. Sometimes it puts you off because you're trying to help someone and they're lying to you. So sometimes you get angry and mad. I mean, they don't know what they're doing. It's part of the addiction. So the training teaches you how to skillfully deal with those people and help them. Obviously, we're going to talk about how addiction affects families and how families affect addicts. See, dance. You see, dance that families need people to start drinking because of the stress and pressures of dealing with family members. They will start drinking and using, all simply because they learned it from family members. That's how dad rolled. I saw dad drink every day. So when I get angry or tired, I start drinking too. So there is that dance. We learn from families and we become addicts. Families help us to get out of addict and stay away from addict. So that is that dance. And while we are in addiction, our addictive behavior affects our marriage, affects our family, affects our children, affects our community. So there is that dance. I call it the dance of alcoholism in the family. That's that touch. Each one touches the other. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about mental health disorders and addiction disorders, how it affects addiction, the interaction of depression, anxiety, and addiction, the interaction of bipolar, how those things affect each other. We're going to talk about how you can set up your own addiction counseling rehab, the business part of it. So it's not just that we are giving you skills, we are also giving you tools so you can help your community. Well, there will be a capstone. That capstone is basically a business plan on what you intend to do with it. And in the last year, we've added suicide prevention and care. How we've added suicide care as part of this course. The reason is because suicide is a heavy part of addiction. And then we are going to add, moving forward, domestic violence. That's also another part of what happens when we are suffering from addiction. Now, people are asking, how long is this course? It's 14 weeks, around basically from January till May. Every other Saturday, 2 Saturdays in a month. Sometimes the Saturdays come back to back. Sometimes the Saturdays are spread out, like 2 Saturdays in a month. There will be a case study, meaning from the beginning, you're going to be working on actual cases and be able to do intake diagnosis. There are 14 roles that 12 roles that a counselor plays. We're going to walk through those roles so you are prepared as a counselor. Now, if you're interested in it, there is no fee, no interest, affordable flex pay. This is not a cheap course. If you've taken our courses, this is a big one because our courses are generally 4 weeks, 5 weeks, but this is 14 weeks. So if you are in Nigeria and you're thinking about taking this course, the Naira equivalent is 495,000. You register and pay once, you get a 20% discount. If you are in South Africa, it's 14,500 rand. If you register, you get 20% discount. If you are paying in dollars, wherever you are, it's $950. $950. Again, if you register or if you pay one time before class start, you get 20% discount. So as you can see, but if you are doing flex pay, 20%, 25% down, 25% monthly. You pay it off. Say 5-month financing, no interest. We're not saying because you're not paying in whole, we add interest. So you're still going to pay 900 or 495 or 950 or 14,500 over 5 months. Why are we doing this? We're doing this because this is part of ministry. This is our own path of vanguard to help our people. We come from Africa originally, and we do know that healthcare is expensive. It's expensive for us. Therapy is the way to go. We can't afford the medication. we can't afford the storage, we can afford therapy. That's what we do anyway. We just need skills to be able to relate with one another. So if you're looking to pay, we have payment details for those in Kenya, those in Cameroon, those in Ghana, those in South Africa, Nigeria, and obviously globally. If you're paying from any other place but these places, it will be a PayPal, or we generate Stripe for you. So that's it. How to get certified? What do you need to do? You need to attend classes. You need to complete module quizzes. At the end of every module, there are 5 of them. You will take a quiz. You need to participate in class discussion, and you need to make 80% in final exam. Complete your capstone and attend graduation. That's all you need to do. If you do all these things, you will get your certification. We provide materials, meaning books. We also recommend other materials that are essential but not required. So that you know, we provide you with information, links on where you can go to continue to get support as you move on. So there are a lot of materials that we provide as we go on. I'd like to stop here and take your questions. If you have any, I'll be more than happy to ask. Now, if you're not live with us on Zoom here, I can just type in your question or send us information at TIMFA, TIMFA.org. That's info@timfa.org. The TIMFA is TIMFA.org. Ask any question that you we'll respond back to you. Let me see, I'll see a few comments. Okay, so we have the link here for information on registration. The links are there, the numbers are there. If you're in West Africa, there's a number there, 234-903-1416971. If you are in Southern Africa, there is a number for Cleopatra, 2+278-818-246-642. So just click that link and it will take you to our WhatsApp group, holding group, where we provide more information. Any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer your questions now. And thank you all for listening through the presentation. Any questions? Location for graduation, that's a good question. There are 3 graduations usually. We do one on Zoom, online, for everybody. Then we have another graduation in Lagos, Nigeria. And then we have a 3rd graduation in Johannesburg, South Africa. So 3 graduations, you pick, you choose. If you're not anywhere close to these 2 locations, perhaps the online one will be your best choice. But we just had one 3 weeks ago in Johannesburg. Students came from Kenya, came from Zimbabwe, came from Zambia, obviously came from Botswana, Namibia, Lesotho. All of us converged in. Someone even came from Ghana. I don't know why they came from Ghana to SA instead of going to Nigeria, which is nearer. But people came from Ghana to SA for that graduation. So those are the 3 areas that you can go. I joined late. I want to know if you already touched on ESCC. No, I haven't. The ESCC open house is next week, Saturday. We're not talking about essential skills courses today. We're just talking about the certified mental health and addiction counseling course today. So, any more questions? Thank you. Those are good questions. Question? Comment? Question and comments? That means I answered all your questions in my presentation. So I'm assuming that But thank you for coming. Location for outside, on-site physical graduation for now is okay. Chris is giving us more information, and the location for now on-site is Nigeria and South Africa, and that helps us to cover bases. And then because we have students from all over, sometimes we have students from 20, 30, 40 countries. We can't be everywhere. That's why we have the online virtual graduation for those who cannot be in South Africa or Nigeria. But if you can, it's usually a fun thing. We had a lot of fun in South Africa, and we had a lot of fun in Nigeria. So it's a fun time to connect and relate and network. So we look forward to it. And by the way, it's part of our mandate. Our mandate is to recruit, train, equip, and commission. So we're not just doing graduation because we want to do have fun. We're doing it because it's part of our core values that we not only train, we equip, and we support. We announce you. We say you have the skills now. So we do that much to validate your credentialing. So discount for couples, absolutely, we can talk about that. We love couples. We love couples doing this together. And you know why we do that? My wife and I do most of these trainings and ministry together. And we found the strength in husband and wife zeroing in on that vision. Right? If you've taken our course, you've had our vision statement program. Zeroing in on that vision, getting that skill. You know what it does for us? If I'm not available, my wife teaches that class. There's no stress. My wife can go to South Africa and do everything that we are doing. I can go. That's what the Bible means when it says two are better than one. So we love couples and we will encourage you. So if you're a couple and you're thinking about taking this together, reach out to me and we can talk. If you're a young couple and you're thinking about taking the marriage course together and you're about to get married or you just got married within the last 2 years, we also will talk about incentivizing you because we want to encourage you. The first 2, 3, 5 years is the most difficult time in marriage. So if you're coming to get skills so you can do better in your marriage, we're part of it. We're there to support you. You are enhancing what we are called to do. We don't want you falling apart. So we will support you. Yeah. So there are discounts. You can reach out if you are serious. And one other thing that I did not say is that class, this class is starting in January. So that gives you 2 months to prepare. I am excited for being part of this. Just concluded. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Monica. Thank you. I'm happy you're excited. We're excited too. So does that mean that excitement would also make you consider joining us at the mental health and addiction? This is the grandmaster of our courses. This is it. This really makes you a consummate counselor because it gives you all the tools. Thank you. Thank you. Any other question? Comment? %20 discount. Okay. So we have 20% discount. Please follow the link. Join the group just to get more information. I may not have covered all your questions and concerns, or if you remember any more questions, follow the link and join, or copy the link and share with your friends, share with your sphere of influence. We are trying to raise an army that would help our people. But still, that's what we need. The links are there. The link is no longer valid. It says, let me me go, click on it. No, it is. I just clicked on it and it went straight. Make sure you copy the whole link. I just clicked on it now and it's still working. Any other questions? Thank you. And if you're here, join me back next Saturday. We'll be talking about 8 essential courses, 8 essential skills that you need, both from grief counseling. We're also going to talk about this addiction and family. But the addiction and family counseling certification that is in the essential skills, it's only for 1.5 hours, not 14 weeks. But we'll talk about it. We will talk about how to help single parents and those who are marrying for the second time. We will talk about how to manage depression and anxiety. Again, that part is also part of the 14 weeks program, but you're going to be getting snippets of it in that. So join us next week. We will be talking about essential skills courses. If you want to be a good counselor, you have to diversify because your clients don't come in bunch. They don't come already made. They come in different forms. They come with different challenges. So you have to have skills to be able to help as many as you can. Some have drug problems, some have grief problems, some their problem is depression, some their problem is they're going through family crisis. There are all kinds. Some are going through the suicide issues. So these skills are given and trained so that you can be a holistic counselor, consummate counselor. Since the link shows invalid when you click it on WhatsApp. Let me see. I don't know. Let me see if I can get that link so I can post it here myself. Pardon me for a minute as I go to WhatsApp where I can get the link for us. Crystal clear, if you're hearing me, please let's try and get the link. Get the correct one. Okay, I'm there. So I hope you will get it in a minute. Okay, I think I copied it. Let's see if I can press it. Okay, I've posted the link for WhatsApp. I just pasted it here on the trail, just before your comment, Beatrice. Okay. Yeah, this should work. I just tried it, and it took me straight to there. All the numbers are WhatsApp numbers. Yes, all the numbers are WhatsApp numbers. You can reach both Chris and Cleopatra on WhatsApp. If you are in Southern Africa, the South African number may be your best shot. If you are in Western Africa, the Nigerian number may be your best shot. If you are any other place, you can reach us in the US. The numbers are also on our website. And for me, you can reach me 281-701-7850. So let's do that. Okay, we will end here. Thank you all, and God bless you. Thank you. I hope we've all clicked the number. If you're still here, let's click that number. Let's click the link. The numbers are being provided. Please take notes.